Hello, I'm Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I am going to be going through a how to cascade better guide. Now, a lot of people have actually asked me to create combo guides because I do have possibly a unique playstyle or perspective of the game, and your voices have been heard, as this will perhaps maybe be the first of hopefully several combo guide videos. And for this one here, I want to focus on how to cascade better. Now, I'm well aware that there are other orb matching technique videos or combo guide videos out there from other community members. However, everyone has their own playstyle as well as perspective, and how I match is not necessarily identical to how other high-end players match. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, because these are all my opinions and how I've basically learned how to play Puzzle & Dragons. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So what are cascades? Well, cascades are basically orb matches that you trigger that will result in additional combos occurring at a delayed rate. So in essence, you remove a set of orbs in a certain spot, and then the orbs will fall down and trigger additional combos. This differs from skyfalls because skyfalls occur via luck or just random chance, because they fall from the heavens above, if you may. They just fall from the sky down into place, and if it triggers, you're lucky and good for you. But cascades are planned matches. So because they're planned, they obviously have to take some time to think, where are you going to put your orbs and how you can have them match and fall in a delayed, staggered manner. Now, I roughly categorize cascades into three categories. There's the line, the staircase, and the elevator. And I'll go into all three of those in much greater detail further down in this guide. So I want to showcase why are cascades important. So as I mentioned before, when a skyfall occurs, it's by random chance. Like, there's 6 different orbs, so essentially 1 out of 6 orbs might fall into place that trigger your match. So from this image shown here, when the purple orbs are matched away, the water orbs are going to fall down. So, but before that, the purple orbs are matched, so new orbs are falling down. But these 2 hearts on the side here, as well as I guess this 4th one here, there's a chance that when the new orbs drop down, that one of those will be a heart, and hopefully in the right place. If it's a heart, you'll have triggered a skyfall match. However, because these 3 purple orbs disappear and the blue water orb here falls down here, this is actually an elevator style match. Because they match here, those 3 will disappear down, and that means there's another chance a heart orb will come into place here. So you don't have 1, but 2 chances for a skyfall to match. So obviously this is still luck based, but I will take a 1 out of 6 chance twice, then a 1 out of 6 chance once. I think you'll feel the same way about that as well. Like, why not improve your odds as best as you can? And this is why cascades are important, because they fall at different rates. You have a chance of a matching first, and then if other orbs drop down, you have another chance to match again. Multiple cascades and staggered patterns obviously result in furthering your odds, but those take a lot of practice to lay out, and I just want to help showcase how you can improve that. So before we get into how cascades work, we need to learn how to do diagonals. Now, diagonal matching is essentially going at a 45-degree angle. So if you see from these 2 images here, the starting heart orb here is going to move up to that blue as shown here. No other orb was moved, I just went on a 45-degree angle and I matched moved diagonally. Now, this results in actually less orb movement time, because you're only making technically 1 movement. If you were to go, say, right up or left up, or sorry, up left, no, up right, bleh. Right up, up right, that is 2 movements, so you technically lost a bit of time. And if you're making multiple diagonals, you are actually saving yourself a lot of time. Furthermore, if you move diagonally, you lower the risk of breaking up pre-existing combos. Like, let's say orbs around your starting position were all matched beautifully, but you need to get out of here to make other combos. If you don't go diagonally, you will run the risk of breaking up your other combos, which is a problem. So you can visualize these diagonal movements as basically a chessboard. So right now, if you just go left, right, up, down, you're like a rook or a castle. However, by going diagonal and getting that bishop movement, you're promoted to a queen or a king status, which I like to think is pretty cool. But regardless, I'm going to show you how I do diagonals. So smooth transition coming in here. this is basically a team with tons of time extends, and it is not a practical team. I just want to show as many time extends as possible. So this is Endless Corridors, which you should be going to practice a lot. Basically all the cascade movements I'm going to showcase down below, you should practice in Endless, as well as diagonals. So if I'm going to start with, say, this water warp here, I'm going to move to the top right. So I go one, whoops, see, that was a mistake there, but I come back and it was made there. So I just go back and forth, back and forth. Now, that is useful because you should need to practice it going back and forth, so you get comfortable with like the up right and the down left. And then you should also change it up. You should try going up left and then down right. So same warp starting there, back, there, whoops, there, whoop, there, whoop, whoop, there, 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 there. You may have to go slowly. If you go really quick, you might mess up. And if you mess up, you have to kind of backtrack. And that's a risk a lot of players don't want to take. Because if you make that error, you have to backtrack and make other movements, and you may lose your train of thought. You take extra time. So a diagonal is a bit of risk, but if you play enough, you will become more confident in that movement. Because I go there and there instead. Oops, so there I messed up there. So if I have to go correct it, I have to do that. So like, if I were to mess up, you have to do 2 movements to fix it. Whereas a diagonal, you go 1. So I'm just going to kind of be going around my board. Whoops. So like when I do play on stream, I make a lot of diagonal movements. They come naturally for me. I'm obviously narrating while I play, so it's a bit more, I guess, harder to figure out where I'm going. Oops. So just practice going all over the board in diagonal fashions. So this is what you should be doing, just practicing like where do you want to go, like how many diagonals. So I made most of those diagonals, like not too bad. Like normally I'm close to like probably like 85–90% probably success rate when I play. So it's that confidence you need to build up, like, can I make these diagonal matches? So just practice, 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 to be honest. And they will get easier over time, and eventually you'll start thinking in diagonals. So going back to the article, scrolling down, we come to the line. So the line is probably the simplest cascade pattern to form, because all you're doing is forming a horizontal line, which will obviously disappear and cause orbs above to drop down into place and match with the ones down below. So in this sample image here, this line of hearts will disappear, and from there, these 2 wood will fall down, trigger a match of wood, as well as these 2 yellow will trigger a 2-prong of light. So with this line, you're able to actually form additional combos without having to go through the line. So say you're playing row-based teams and you made your row, you don't want to go through that row again. And with this line cascade kept in mind, you're able to like form those combos without breaking your row. Furthermore, if you play a heart cross leader, it's very important to get comfortable with these line matches, because in theory, the heart cross is a row, or it's basically a horizontal line is disappearing. Because when this heart cross disappears, these 4 lights will connect. And that helps because heart crosses take up an awkward amount of space. So these light orbs will match. Fantastic. You basically help optimize your board when your board is kind of messy just because a heart cross takes up awkward amounts of space. So I'm going to be showcasing some line matches here. So if you see here, like these purple on the side, they are all almost set up. And if I make hearts here, or I'll make a heart cross there, the purple will fall down, which is great. They're going to fall down and then they'll match. So that is a simple way to cause, I think I messed up, I don't know why I was looking somewhere else. Regardless, making another line. So these water here, and I'll put wood on top. So wood there. So those are going to match down. And the wood matches. Like, it's a simple way to help use the space in your board if you couldn't, say, rearrange the pattern any other way. It's not necessarily the most complex or flashy of all matches, but there is the line of purple and then the fire drops down. So it is helpful, and I want to get one more heart orb to showcase. Just going to hold that down to showcase a heart cross that will trigger additional matches. So I'm going to put light orbs around the heart cross. I'm going to form this area here. So you see here, like, I'm free to match where I want. I'm actually going to make 2 line matches. So like the heart cross will disappear and the light orbs are going to fall down and trigger. They actually all connect technically, but the point is you saw like there's two unique sets. Could have fallen out if it wasn't the third light. So the line is relatively easy. It's not too hard. It doesn't take up that much space. And it's kind of almost the building blocks to advance to the next level of cascading. So transitioning back over to the article. And this article will actually be linked in the YouTube description down below. It's helpful to look at it because these still screenshots are going to help a lot when you try and visualize what you want to do. So here's the staircase. And the staircase is one of my personal favorites because it allows for like multiple cascades to occur kind of in like a almost like a domino or like a staircase manner. It looks like a staircase in my opinion. So from this image here, you can see that no orbs are going to actually trigger until this light two-prong occurs. So when this light two-prong matches, these purple will fall down, like the purple will fall down and then cause a purple two-prong. And then once those purple two-prong are matched, those light and wood will match as well as the water. So basically everything is occurring in a delayed rate. Well, actually, sorry, the light matches first, then the purple, wood, and water matches, and then afterwards the hearts match. So it's like a one match and then like three other matches and then another match. So this nice delayed staggered formation is great because it can help you optimize two-prong attack oriented teams. Because with two-prong attacks, they're kind of awkward in terms of spacing. And this staircase helps alleviate that burden of matching combos alongside. So, like a few other images for like visualizing staircase before I start matching them live. So this light two-prong will trigger, and that will cause the fire to fall down. Once the fire falls down, the hearts will match, and then the light orbs will match, the water orbs will match, and these hearts will actually fall down in place because they will match. So like this is a great way to like get additional combos. This is another staircase here. Light two-prong goes away. Obviously the hearts match here, the wood on the side, but this wood will match here, and then the purple will match at the same time with the wood. But these water orbs over here will all line up beautifully at the bottom when all the purple and wood orbs disappear. I could have put the light here, and that would have caused like an or the basically the light went up there and there. Could have had an extra combo, but the point being is you see how the staircase makes things fall down. So going into the video, so if I want to make say a light two-prong at the bottom, I will do that right now, and then you see here, oops, the wood matches, the fire, they all matched a bit delayed is the idea. So I'm going to make another staircase over here with a heart, pretend the hearts at the bottom are an actual color so it makes sense. But the wood are going to fall down now, like that's a simple staircase. The wood will fall down. If I had there, I can make a wood two-prong, and I can make a dark here, and then a light here, and the water on top. So you see here, all those just matched because of that initial staircase combo at the bottom. So it's a great way to utilize your board. You can make multiple staircases where they kind of collapse in on themselves. I'll do a few more just because they are pretty to look at. I think they're pretty to look at. Not as pretty as me, of course, but pretty nevertheless. So even Pancake agrees, like it's that exciting. So the purple match, and boom, staircase falling down. Do one more just for finishing up the examples. So I want to make a light two-prong at the bottom. The purple are going to match here. Just to show a simple staircase, like the purple matches there. Nothing too fancy there. Matched. So it's another way to help promote cascading, as well as triggering additional skyfalls because they're falling down at different rates. Alright, transitioning back into the written guide. And this example here, I basically created a staircase with a line. So you can mix and match. Like, it's not always practical to do every single time, but it is an option. So when the fire orbs match away, the light cascade down. But when these fire orbs are matched, the hearts cascade down. Something to think about. So finally, we come to the elevator. Now, the elevator is probably one of the harder ones to visualize. It's the one I do the least amount because it takes up awkward amount of spacing because matching combos vertically sometimes can be less helpful than matching like sets of horizontal. So from this example here, we see that this fire orb match will occur and then it will deliver, like an elevator, this water orb down to the bottom, which will trigger a water two-prong. So it's a way to help bring orbs down that you would not necessarily get to have occur. With a heart cross, imagine like this is a fire cross here. Imagine it was. It would deliver the water down. So another way to get around the awkward heart cross spacing is to deliver them via an elevator. So with this example here, I'm actually going to form an elevator, like the hearts match, and nothing else occurs until this hearts actually trigger. Because when the hearts are matched, this light orb here will fall down, and then that will cause these lights to match away, and then cause a staircase of the water, and then the wood and hearts, and then finally these red orbs, fire orbs at the top. So a lot of matches are made, but they all start with this elevator delivering the light orb. So I'm going to show you some elevator matching. They're not necessarily the most practical, but here is just basic elevator on the side. So when the wood orbs match, the fire orbs are going to fall down and trigger. And then there will be, if I do something like that, oops, I meant to make the hearts, but whatever. The point being is, they all fell down and I got lots of skyfalls, lucky me, but elevator sometimes is helpful, but I'm going to showcase with a heart cross now the elevator. So, if you notice here, that elevator of the heart cross here will actually trigger that light orb to fall down to the bottom here. So it's another way to help utilize heart cross spacing issues, because there is spacing issues when you use heart crosses. So if I do this here, I'm making a wood orb match here, but if I do this, I'm actually going to cause a staircase. Well, actually, if I match too much light, but you can see how the elevator brought them down and possibly can staircase down into them. So I'll do one more example here, where the wood orb, I like to match things on the left for some reason. I don't know why, it seems easier in my head. So this water orb here is going to fall down here with the water down here. So I'm going to do this. And you see here, there's actually a staircase forming. More staircasing action. Will that be the right staircase? No, I messed up the fire on the side, but the point is you can staircase with an elevator. So, returning back to the written guide. So putting it all together. Now, this is an example that is not practical for everyday usage, but it shows pretty much all three elements with a heart cross. So, initially, this heart cross will be erased, and then from there, it will cause a line cascade for the purple on the side. And then once the purple are matched, it will deliver via elevator this water orb. The water orbs will match, and it will cause the wood to fall down. So you actually have the line, the elevator, and then the staircase with a heart cross. You don't necessarily need to do this all the time, but it's something to keep in mind that it is possible to mix and match. So I'm going to try maybe live to do that. So I do have a heart cross. Oh geez, how is this going to happen? It's going to be so complicated. Going to deliver the water orbs via a line here. It's not. It took a lot of trials to get where I'm going with that, but no. Like, just a lot of lines. Like, it's hard to make all three at the same time. Like, that's the point. But with heart crosses, it's nice because you can bring things down and utilize corners that you normally wouldn't. I plan to make a heart cross video later, so stick around for that. But returning back to my written guide. So fully optimizing a board is basically a term that's assigned for when you make as many combos as you possibly can given the board you presently have. The maximum you can do is 10. However, you're not always going to have the perfect board distribution of the right number of orbs. You'll end up with like a 4 or a 5, and that means you can't actually match them away. So obviously you want to try and match as much as possible given a board. However, if you use cascades, you are increasing the chance of a skyfall occurring. So with this board I showcase here, the wood orbs are going to match here, and that will cause an elevator of light to cascade down, which will trigger the dark to staircase along with the water to staircase. And then there's also a wood, fire, and a dark match. So there's 7 combos on the board. Like, there's no way I could have gotten more because I have 7 purple orbs, I have only 4 red fire orbs, 7 wood, and only 5 light as well as 5 water. So I could only get 7 maximum, but when I did this board and I did a full, like all the cascades, it actually shows that I actually got 9 out of it because 2 skyfalls occurred because of the delayed rate in which the orbs disappeared. Something to keep in mind when you're trying to optimize a board that can't be perfect 10 comboed is using cascades like this. So, in conclusion, like cascades are an advanced orb matching technique, but they are fun to use because it allows you to trigger matches in a staggered formation that encourages skyfall activation. You may not necessarily get a skyfall every time, but if you cascade often enough, you're going to have them occur passively every once in a while. And why not increase your chances of a skyfall occurring? Because this is technically costing you nothing except maybe a bit more planning. So let me know if you found this orb matching tutorial helpful in the comments below. I plan to make more in the future of this type of format of written guide plus YouTube, well, plus video, so you get a bit of everything all at once. So let me know what kind of cascades do you like to do? Do you match similar patterns as I do, or possibly patterns that I don't showcase? Let me know. Have a mantastic evening, and happy puzzling!